So you've got a client who has had a good experience with you. They feel better. They've made progress. They are grateful for the work you've done together, but they didn't finish the whole program, or they didn't have a dramatic transformation. Maybe they're not even your ideal client. So if you find yourself wondering, can I even use this as a testimonial? And if I do use it, how do I talk about it without overclaiming and making it hyped up and untrue? And that is what we're going to talk about today. If we haven't met before, I'm Jo Lott, a business coach who helps qualified coaches get clients with honesty, not hype. I have helped hundreds of qualified coaches to build their business, and let's get started with today's episode to help you maximize your testimonials and case studies so that they really start to work for you. Let's start with a real situation because this comes up a lot. A coach shared this with me recently. She had 2 clients from a test version of her program. Client 1 was not her target audience of a woman in their 40s, changing career. He came in low with confidence, unsure about what he wanted. He did gain value from the early stages of the program. He got clarity and he actually took up a new role in a more aligned organization. But he didn't complete her full coaching program, and she didn't feel like it was a dramatic career change. He was still in the same industry, doing a similar job, but he had changed to a different organization. So that's client 1. Client 2 was much closer to her ideal client, midlife professional woman, recently made redundant, confidence knocked. Through that early stage of the program, she regained clarity, rebuilt her confidence, and started interviewing for senior roles again. The program hasn't been fully completed yet, but there is clear movement. And the coach was asking me, how do I position these testimonials? Can I use them? Can I show the value without overstating the outcome, considering they aren't at that finish line yet? And I think this really taps into something deeper because many coaches feel this tension around testimonials. You don't want to exaggerate. You don't want to make promises that you can't guarantee. You don't want to turn your work into something shiny and dramatic if it's not. But at the same time, you need your work to feel attractive and credible for future clients, to help them see that this is worth investing in. So it is a really difficult balance. So here is a reframe. Testimonials are not there to prove perfection. They're there to show movement. They show where someone started, what helped, and what became possible as a result. And that doesn't have to be an over-the-top transformation to be meaningful. In fact, most of the believable testimonials are not the most extreme ones. They are the ones that feel like a real transformation that some average person might have. So don't think everything needs to be glossy. It really doesn't. People want to see and hear people like them achieving results that feel like someone like them can achieve. So let's take that first client that we talked about earlier. They are not your ideal audience. They didn't complete your full program. They didn't change career drastically. So it would be really easy to dismiss that as a not usable testimonial or case study. But actually, there is so much value in what that person achieved. So that person came in feeling stuck and unsure. They left with more clarity, more confidence, and they did actually make a move into a better job that felt more aligned with them. Even if it wasn't like a complete shift from being a office worker to being a plumber, there is still a real shift. So don't underestimate any change that your clients possibly have. And instead of focusing on what didn't happen, really focus on what did. So for this one, you might position it as helping someone move from feeling stuck and uncertain to feeling clearer, more confident, and gaining a new role before their coaching program was even complete. That will resonate with someone who feels exactly that way right now. So let's move on to the second example. This was much closer to their ideal target audience. Again, not a finished journey, but let's look at the movement there. So that person had been made redundant, they were low in confidence, and now they have clarity, direction, and they've even started interviewing again after many years out. So that is really powerful. You don't need to wait until your coaching program is complete or until they have got the job at the interview, because most people considering working with you are earlier in that journey. So even the thought of going for an interview is like impressive for them. They don't always need to see that final chapter. They just need to see that something has shifted, and you will always have a chance to gain another case study or testimonial further down the line to show the long-term impact of that coaching program. So something that also helps here is how you ask for testimonials or case studies. And let me just pause there because I know I have used them interchangeably, and let's break down what I see as a testimonial and what I see as a case study. And the clue here is we want to aim for case studies over testimonials. So testimonials are when you say to someone that you finish working with, would you write me a testimonial? And they say, yes, of course I will. And you say, okay, great. And that person will write something like, oh, Julie is a great coach. She asked great questions. I really loved everything about her. But the thing is, to be a highly converting testimonial or case study, no one really cares, sadly, about you as a coach and how wonderful you are. They care that you can help people like them get to where they want to get to. So aim instead for case studies, which essentially puts the focus back on your ideal client. So where were they before they worked with you? What was useful? And where are they now? So all of the testimonials in the world about what an amazing coach you are won't always convert people into clients, but gaining case studies will. So instead of asking someone, can you write me a testimonial? You can guide this slightly. So you might ask, what was going on for you before we started working together? What were you struggling with? What was the impact of that? What has changed as a result of working together? What feels different now? And what would you say to someone considering working with me? That way, you have naturally drawn out their journey, not just a vague endorsement of what a wonderful coach you are, which just won't convert. Most of us are saying, what's in it for me? So that is why your real client result matters way more than what great questions you ask. And here's the most important part for me. You do not need to overclaim. You don't need every testimonial to be a huge transformation story, because people can really feel that and start to think that it can't be true. So a variety of case studies or testimonials will build far more trust for you. When someone reads something and thinks that feels real, that sounds like where I am now, and they can actually see themselves in that result, then they will believe it far more so. Some of my clients that have bought from me often say, oh, I was just like Natasha in your case study, working 3 days a week and now having 2 days a week in my coaching business. So they didn't need to see that Natasha was earning 6 figures in her coaching business. They wanted to see the full journey of the balance of part-time work with her coaching business. So the same will be for your clients. Show them different variations of small parts, bigger parts, everything you can gather in terms of case studies that will eventually feed into your business success. So if you are sitting on testimonials and unsure whether they are good enough or whether it's too early to ask for one, I will offer you this. Just look for movement and a shift, and look for what became possible that wasn't possible before. That is really what people will connect with. They don't need everything to be shiny and perfect. They just want to see progress. If you would like more support with this, I have a coaching, onboarding and retention guide. It includes a client welcome pack built in Canva that you can adjust and send to your clients. It has information on creating great case studies and testimonials, and it is on sale for super low price, which will help you to create that 5-star client experience. I will link to it in the show notes or description, and I hope it is really, really helpful in you onboarding those clients beautifully. Thank you for listening to today's episode. And like I always say, trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seeds.